everyone. Today I wanted to talk about how to maintain a healthy sense of self-esteem in the age of social media. Although there are many things that are positive about social media, like being able to connect to friends and family, especially now that we're all separated by the coronavirus, social media can often have us falling into what experts call the comparison trap. Social media gives us the opportunity to make these comparisons 24/7. When you compare, your view becomes distorted, you diminish your own value, connect yourself from your own life and relationships, and begin to feel depleted, and yet we all do it and don't seem to be able to stop. We often fall into a black hole of scrolling through Instagram, wondering why it seems that everyone else may be thriving when you're not be. But it's important to remember that Instagram and social media in general are all highlight reels of people's lives. We see the achievements of others. Perhaps they snagged a new job, went on vacation, gotten a boyfriend, or even have what appears to be the perfect body. These comparisons that we make can have a large impact on our self-perceptions and our mental health. In fact, the Pew Research Center has found a strong correlation between the time spent online on social media and the prevalence of mental illnesses such as depression, anxiety, and the presence of suicidal thoughts. Though this all may seem daunting, there are things that each of us can do to be responsible media consumers and protect our own well-being and mental health. A first tip that experts recommend is to know your own specific triggers and to avoid them at all costs. Maybe this means deep down you have a sensitivity about your own body image, and you find yourself getting upset when you see people on Instagram or any other social media flaunting their bodies, or maybe they're selling weight loss products or promoting new diets that are a means to change your shape and change what you look like. The most important thing you can do in this situation is unfollow, block, or mute these people. Do not expose yourself to media that you know will cause a spiral of negative thoughts and self-comparison. Second thing that we can do is to reduce our time on social media. This is the most widely accepted tip by professionals, and they all say that managing your time on social media is perhaps the most important thing that one can do to promote mental health and well-being. Managing your social media take isn't easy. I think we all know that, especially today that we have what seems to be unlimited free time. We've become accustomed to scrolling through these apps to pass time, to gather information, or just out of habit when we're nervous or anxious. To make sure that we're all using our social media time constructively, experts recommend that you give yourself a designated amount of time, perhaps no more than 20 minutes a day, though this depends on each individual person, to check your social media accounts. Some apps like Instagram can log this for you, and there's also a way in your iPhone settings to specifically set time limits for social apps in your phone settings. So the way to do this is you go into your phone settings, and then under the screen time tab, you can adjust the amount of time that you're allowed to use on each social media app. And then the third tip that experts recommend is that ultimately the greatest protection against falling into the comparison trap and the best way to pull yourself out of it is to develop and maintain a stable sense of self. That means cultivating your identity and self-esteem, nourishing relationships with people who see the real you and that you care about, and staying attuned to your truest beliefs. A stable sense of self comes from thinking about who you are, absent of any feedback. What are your values and preferences in the absence of anybody knowing about them? Can you be proud of the person who isn't publicly posted? These are all important things to meditate on and to think about, and it's perhaps the only surefire way to maintain our stable sense of self. Experts say if we follow these 3 tips, there's a good chance that you can maintain your self-esteem and mental health when it's often very difficult. Remember that comparison is the thief of joy and